If elected, how do you plan to use the publicity website in order to improve the function of other departments within Kumoricon?
Well, I would probably just want to talk to the other departments and see how much what they need and what would actually help them, because unfortunately something I've run into in the past is once you start trying to make things too complicated and start trying to automate everything, all these things, you run into problems. If the website goes down, what do? You no longer have any way to get in touch. So I'd like to look at, I think the forums are a great way, and continuing to use the forums, but I don't necessarily want to make changes that the other departments aren't interested in making. So I really have to sit down and talk to the other directors and find out from them if that's an avenue that they want to explore, and what would be the best way to go about changing that. Like, I'm going to talk to relations and programming a lot about the website just for the attendees and making it better functionality so that the attendees are getting the information that they need to be getting in a more timely manner.
She's got a great point about talking with the other departments. I've got several ideas, some of which I have mentioned previously while up here, including project tracking and milestone checklist completion. And I believe that those could help other departments, especially if the milestones are tied to deadline dates and hard deadline dates, so that we know if we're actually getting behind on tasks, and so that hopefully we would have early warnings if a task isn't started on time, that we could assign an additional resource to it to try to complete.
I'm going to use social networks, but I want to define that to mean not necessarily those confined to or existing on the internet. As an example, the local model radio-controlled aircraft club can be an example of a collection of people who have a singular enthusiasm that brings them together. What previously untapped collections of people, social networks, and you've already mentioned one of the picture magazines, but which previously untapped collections of people do you think you can contact and get them interested and excited about their work?
Okay, sorry. Honestly, we haven't actually explored even just online social networking that much. I started to work with Dawn on that kind of project last year with getting the Twitter and Facebook thing set up better, because that will certainly let people know more just in the Portland area because of the search functions. We've always tried to be in communication with local anime clubs, but that can be really difficult. And in the future, though, I would really like to get more involved with maybe parenting groups, because they don't know about necessarily what an anime is. Libraries. I would love to go in and set up a talk. Maybe that would just be an introduction to anime with a local library. You know, that parents can come who have no idea what this thing is that their kids love. And we're always looking to network with other groups, and we find a lot of those groups through things like the library, like Keep Portland Weird events. Those are where we meet other people who go, oh, we never knew that this event was going on here. Would you like to come and have a table at our event? So I would just like to continue talking to all of these different groups.
I can't think of any other groups to talk to, but I can think of other content to include at the library or a school meeting, where we could develop a package of resources that parents could use, websites and other links, that would help them educate themselves about not just anime in general, but any specific anime that their kid's like, oh, I want you to buy me this, or hey, I've been watching this thing. And they can find out what's involved in it, what kind of ratings going on, if it's something that they want to keep their kid away from, or if they need to talk to them to educate them about certain topics in it that they might not have covered yet.
How do you guys plan to provide outreach in addition to the local colleges and universities? How do you guys plan to provide outreach to other school groups, such as the local high schools? I've not seen a whole lot of background on it. It would be a cool group to tap.
Well, part of that is, unfortunately, with school groups at least. I haven't really looked into it out here, but I know back in Nebraska when I was doing publicity, the schools have very, very stringent rules a lot of time on what you can come in and talk about, and it would definitely take finding the right people who understood what was going on and probably getting a school group to be championing to get us to come in and talk. Because, yeah, schools can have really weird standards and restrictions. Is that all your question? I think I hear all of your questions. Is there any more?
That would actually be an excellent item to package up in a resource on our website where we would have links to other documentation and various topics that we are prepared to send volunteers out to talk about on specific days that they could schedule in advance with notice, so that we could have like an anime question and answer session, maybe hand out a couple of sheets that advertise our convention, as well as provide links to the other online resources that they could use.